for the ghoulish, the queer, and the gross. I'm Julie Jester. I am the heinous bisexual witch siren of TikTok, known as Plant-Based Bird Girl.
And I'm Ellie Rudy, a journalist covering the LGBT boo plus community, a timeless gremlin, and a consumer of candy and the blood of virgins. We're here to talk murder, gore, and mayhem not yet known to this human realm.
This podcast is for the spookiest of spookies, the fabulous dead, the disgusting alive, and the spider in the corner of my room. Shout out to you, Herman.
Oh, also, in this special recording of Liz, by the end, one of us will be dead.
No.
Yes.
No.
Maybe.
Ellie.
Julie.
Let's get started. Wow, wasn't that the spookiest thing you all have ever heard in your lives? If your bones are not chilled by the vibrato tones of Ellie and I in this fine Halloween day, then I don't know what else will chill your bones.
Nothing.
All right. So this week, we got some movies for you.
We do. So shout out to the publication Them, like an amazing queer publication. We love them. We're gonna always shout out our fellow queerdos. And they had a list of like great spooky queer Halloween movies to watch. So Julie and I picked and chose from a little bit of that list, and this is kind of what we came out with.
We watched some of the same ones. We watched some of the different ones. Some of them I was supposed to watch, but life gets in the way.
And I watched most of them because I have too much time on my hands and live alone.
Because of us, Ellie is the responsible one. That's not true.
No.
I don't think either of us are the responsible one.
We don't have a designated responsible one.
That's Molly and Sparky, our pets.
Yes. Okay, so to start us out, we are going to be talking about The Bride of Frankenstein, which came out in 1935.
The Great Depression. The scariest.
It was a really tough time for America.
And if that ain't the spookiest of all,
honestly,
when capitalism takes a hit.
True. Okay, so I want to hear. So basically, you guys all know the story of Frankenstein. If you don't, I'm not gonna say it because you need to. You need to
catch up.
So this
Ellie just died.
I did.
She's the one who died.
Yes, I did. Anyway, so it's basically Frankenstein, but now Frankenstein has a girlfriend. They make a girlfriend for him.
And that girlfriend does not appear until the last minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and she's not that into him.
No, and I'm sitting around the whole time like, where's my cool, hot monster woman? Also, you know, we got this right off the list of like the energy of queerness. And I was like, where is my sapphic energy? I'm so angry. And then I was like, oh, right. Also, there's gay men, too. But,
right? Okay, so
yeah.
I want to talk about that. What did you think was most queer about this?
Well, I mean, also a shout out to the bisexual actor who's in the role of Ernest, or not the role, but he's like Dr. Pretorius.
Oh, yeah. Work.
Yeah. What I thought was queer about this was that it's this man's wedding night and he's like, you want to come off? And he and his buddy are like, let's go off into the woods and do science together and talk about human lives. I took notes on this movie, and my favorite line that I wrote in my notes is, two guys just want to create human life in vastly different ways. It's a pitch perfect riff off.
That is amazing. So it's pretty gay in that, yeah, it's literally his wedding night, and he's like, hey, instead of hanging out with my new bride, let's go have a gay craft night together where we literally make, we hang out with our, like, scary little boy.
Yeah, and also Dr. Petronius is making tiny people, miniatures. Miniatures are gay.
Yeah, like they're like American Girl dolls but alive, and they're small. So that's pretty gay. Also, like the way the whole movie starts is like it's like a dark and stormy night, and they're like telling the story of Frankenstein, and that whole thing just feels very gay. It's like these two very fabulous men and this one very fabulous woman, and they're all around a fire, and they're like all wearing capes. And they're like gazing out at the storm, and they're like, "Ooh, what a storm!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're so gay." So that was the vibe that I was getting. So gay, checks all the boxes.
I out here feel really seen by Frankenstein's monster, as because he is this very tall bisexual who's vegan. And that's what's up. I mean, he's not vegan in the movies, but the original Frankenstein in Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley's story is actually vegan. There's proof. And also Mary Shelley, and this isn't a podcast about veganism, I'm sorry, but he is a bisexual in the movie. He wants just to be with anyone. He just wants a little loving. He doesn't care what you got in your pants.
No, he's just like friend sexual. Like he just wants any type of companionship. Like, oh, and like then there's a part where he like hangs out with this blind man. They have like a lovely dinner together. They basically have like a lovely little gay night in where they're like, he's playing music, Frankenstein's monster is loving it. Like they're just living their best lives. And then someone comes in and is like, do you not know that this is the monster? And the blind guy's like, no, I'm literally blind. And they literally like ruin their love affair. And I'm like, classic straight people coming in to ruin a beautiful gay date night.
Absolutely. Yeah, the first note that I wrote for this is the queerest part of the movie how much these men roll their R's, where they're like, the Frankenstein story!
Monster!
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, it's very flamboyant. And it's like campy before camp was a thing. Like it's great. And I have no notes. Frankenstein,
no notes.
You killed it.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Oh, wait, no, literally on my list, the first thing I said was rolls all of their R's. Oh, wait, and then one of the quotes is Lord Byron, who's like one of the gay icons at the very beginning. He looks out of the storm and goes, "How beautifully dramatic." And I was like, okay. And then another quote that I put is, "Think of the power to create a man, and I did it." Like, okay. Let's all calm down a little bit. And then when Frankenstein's monster's with the gay guy, or the blind guy, I mean, maybe also gay, the blind guy's like, "I shall look out for you and you shall comfort me." And I'm like, oh my god, old gay best friends. Like, they're like the old gay men on TikTok. Like, they just want to live their lives.
Oh my god, love them.
So anyway, that's my thoughts, my celebrations, my ponderings on The Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know if you have any other notes.
I think my only other note is every little old lady in that movie is a queer icon to me. Yes. Every time one of those tiny little ladies is like, "It's alive!" I'm like, that's gay history right there. Also, there was this one really crotchety old lady in one scene where they're sitting at a campsite and she goes, "Salt and pepper, where's the salt and pepper?" And that's like burned in my brain. I want to make a whole one-woman show based off of that lady.
Oh, maybe that'll be our next tattoo. You can get salt and I'll get pepper.
And they'll be like, people will be like, "Are you really big Salt and Pepper fans?" And we're like, no. We're actually really big that lady from Frankenstein's monster. But also, there was a period in my life when I had Shoop by Salt and Pepper stuck in my head every day for about 6 months. And this was when I was in acting school. So my ensemble, who was this class of 20 people that I spent every waking hour with, listened to me singing Shoop every day for 6 months. And they hate me for it. Also, anytime any of them hear Shoop in the Wild by Salt and Pepper, they send it to me. So now you know that if you ever hear Shoop by Salt and Pepper in the Wild, think of me.
That's Julie's ghost coming to greet you from beyond.
That's my spirit saying hello.
The song that has currently been stuck in my head has been Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. Literally, for listeners who don't know, I am half Jewish, but I would never was bat mitzvahed. I'm not kidding. The Miami Boys Choir alone has made me like consider getting bat mitzvahed.
Yeah, being more Jewish.
I'm like, I am so proud of this culture. Like, I've been like researching like liberal synagogues near me in Brooklyn because I so badly am like, I need to meet with a rabbi right now and connect with my roots because this is a community I need to be a part of.
100%. And on that note, I'll say exactly what my friend Ben texted me. If you're not on Jewish Boy Choir Talk right now, you're missing out. Look up the Miami Boys Choir. Is that what they're called?
Yes, the Miami Boys Choir.
It's an absolute slam dunk.
Shout out to David. He's my favorite one in the choir. But they're all great. But he's just my personal favorite. Anyway. Okay, so moving on, we are now going to be talking about Vampiros Lesbos, which came out in 1971. It's this like super artsy lesbian vampire film. Honestly,
it's German.
It's in German, which made it really hard for me to watch. Because I'm really bad with subtitles. As we've spoken about before, reading is tough for me.
Ellie is a pioneering journalist. She can't read and she writes the stories. We're really proud of her here at Liz.
Thank you so much. It's like, it was great to look at. All the people were in it were beautiful. The women were gorgeous. It's just maybe hot take, German is a language, people. It is a lot. It is loud and it is hard. And it was blasting through my apartment and also like loud moaning noises. And I was like, what does my neighbor think is happening right now?
I'm obsessed with you almost just cut the sentence off at hot take, German is a language. I was like, whoa, Ellie, controversial.
I know. We are dropping it this week. But anyway, so yeah, it was honestly the notes I have on it. It was gay lesbians. I mean, it was gay lesbians.
I mean, it's in the title, Vampiros Lesbos.
Yes, it was very artsy. It was about lesbian vampires. I honestly don't have a whole bunch of notes on it. The title alone is like, okay, clearly very gay, scary movie. It was very artsy. I'm sure if I was like a film major, I would have a lot more appreciation for the cinematography. But honestly, the German thing was really hard on me. But it's only an hour and a half long. So if you like German or don't, give it a watch.
If you like German and softcore porn, give it a watch.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Okay, that kind of leads to the next one, the Rocky Horror Pixie?
Yeah, the Rocky Horror Pixie Show. Incredible.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, which came out in 1975. Julie, take it away.
So hot. I'm so hot for everything that this movie brings to the table. Oh, we got a Sparky meow. Congratulations to all of us. He is looking like he just wants to give you his opinions on Rocky Horror, honestly. So, Frankenfurter is a man named a woman, a transvestite from Transylvania, from transsexual Transylvania. That's just kind of a really iconic title. But also I realized when I was watching it, I had never seen the end of Rocky Horror. I don't know how. I've never seen the end.
How does it end again?
They're all aliens, and the aliens come back.
Right. This is certainly a hot take, and I'm sure I will get hate for this. Did not enjoy it.
It's so glamorous. I
know.
Die for the glam rock vibes.
I love Susan Sarandon. Love her.
Oh my God, yes.
I think she was great in it. She was adorable. What's her name? Her name's super vanilla. It's like Kathy
Janet.
or Janet. There it is.
Janet.
And
I love you.
Chad.
Brad.
Is Chad Brad, Chad, whatever.
Karen and Chad.
Dr. Frankenfurter obviously is designed to make you feel a little uncomfortable. Like there's a creepy quality there. So that was achieved. But I didn't like the part.
Only felt turned on by him. I'm sorry, everyone.
Ooh, okay. Dr. Frankenfurter, what I did not like about this character is there are two separate times where they put on a costume and pretend to be someone else and then get in bed with Chad Brad pretending to be Janet. And then get into bed with Janet and pretending to be Chad Brad. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that that they cheat on each other without each other's consent. And maybe I'm just like a sensitive liberal snowflake that it's just I can't handle it. But I'm like, honestly, there's a lot of really problematic things in this movie, and like he like the little boy. What's the little boys with the orange shorts? Oh, is that Rocky? Rocky, the gold shorts.
Yeah.
Like, big day for him. Like, he's born, he gets married, his parent partner like kind of abuses him. And then he has sex with Janet. It's a lot. I can appreciate it for what it is. And I would never want a world in which Rocky Horror Picture Show didn't exist, because I know that it is such a cult classic, especially in the queer community.
Mm-hmm.
It is just not for me. I wasn't a fan. And I'm coming out to you all now as a non-Rocky Horror Picture Show fan.
I could
so
just sit and watch Rocky Horror on repeat all day, I feel like. Yes, Dr. Frankenfurter does some pretty non-good things, and some things that we might consider sexual coercion, sexual harassment. And that's not cute, especially because, I mean, he's like, she, they is one of the first characters that we see, I feel like, in movies that has any sort of gender like queerness to them. Mm-hmm. And we don't like that representation, especially with the history of everyone believing that queer people and trans people are just like sexual freaks who are trying to prey on everyone, especially children. That whole shebang. It is not the best representation, but at the same time, it's one of the first times that gender queerness is ever on TV, like or on film at all. Like, it's the first time that we see someone who is a male actor. This actor is not non-binary, Tim Curry or anything like that. But the first time we see someone in like a male actor just go out there and like full ass makeup, the drag, the whole bunch of it. So it does get a lot of stuff confusing and questionable. But at the same time, I feel like for a lot of people who were exploring and trying to figure themselves out, there was a certain empowerment in Dr. Frankenfurter and how confident they were in their own skin with the makeup and the short hair and the corset and the glitter boots and the masculine body.
And like, okay, pause. What do we know pronouns? Like, I don't know if that ever gets mentioned in the movie for Dr. Frankenfurter. I can't
remember. I feel like they refer to him as he. And I wonder what it would be modern day. So they remade, and this is one of the primary things that I thought about actually in while I was watching is they remade Rocky Horror in 2016, one of those like musicals on TV film things like they did with The Sound of Music Live and all of that stuff. They did Rocky Horror, and Dr. Frankenfurter was Laverne Cox. And I kind of
work.
Well,
okay.
Yes, work, because we love seeing someone who is actually genderqueer, who is actually trans in that role. But at the same time, I feel kind of strange about it, because Laverne isn't somebody who rides the line of like, is it a man? Am I a woman? Do I like, likes to showcase their gender queerness? She is a woman. She is every day in life, she is unquestionably a woman, and she is, she's got the hair and the dress and all of that stuff on. I would have loved to see even just like a non-binary actor who likes doing drag in it, or someone who is trans but doesn't give in to the whole thing that you have to go through surgery to be trans. Like it just kind of feels like yes, because she is the trans experience. We love that. We love that they were thinking in that vein. But at the same time, she's a woman. And I feel like that sort of takes away from her experience as someone who has transitioned and as someone who presents every day as a woman, to reduce her to like this like genderless, interesting being. It's something to think about, I feel like.
No, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of other thoughts on Rocky Horror. It honestly just made me kind of uncomfortable, but like, I know that's what it's supposed to do.
So like, congratulations. I was uncomfortable.
I was turned on the whole time. I'm so here for the glamour. Yeah, I'm really here for scary non-binary people. Please come get freaky with me. I'm going to get a lot of weird messages after this podcast is released.
You really are. Good luck with that.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. Yeah, I know you do listen to this.
Okay, next movie we're doing Scream 1996. Julie,
Yeah.
this is your
This
gal.
is just my little baby. This wasn't one that we had. It was on the list for from the them.us publication. .them, whatever it's called. This was on the list, but it wasn't one that Ellie and I were like, we need to talk about this. But then as I sat down thinking about it, I was like, I need to talk about this. It is my favorite all-time scary movie. It's just campy enough. The camp of it alone is what makes it queer in my heart. But then also that...
Wait, hold up. You keep talking. I'm gonna pee, but don't stop. Just imagine I'm sitting here and like nodding and like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
about to pee my pants and it just hit me. So continue.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Live your best life. So yeah, I really love Scream for the two male villains who are just unwittingly obsessed with each other, especially towards the end. And one of them, Stu, is nibbling on the other one's ear. And I think that's a really grand moment in queer history. Again, we don't want to be seeing all of these queer murderers. And there's, I'm sure, a lot of straight people who watch Scream and are like, this is not a queer movie. But you know what? For years and years and years, people have been making queer moments straight. Like the skeletons they found that were buried together and they were known as the lovers. But then when they found out it was two male skeletons, they were like, oh, they were brothers who just loved each other a lot. So you know what? I think it is high time we take a ton of straight moments and make them gay as fuck. And that is my stance on that. And right now, Ellie's not peeing or in the bathroom. She is nodding her head rapturously and telling me how, you can't hear it because she's like mouthing it, but she's telling me how pretty and cool and hot I am. Ellie, isn't that right?
Yes.
That timed out so perfectly.
Okay, are you done talking about Scream?
I am
I'm
done
sure it was
talking
great,
about Scream.
and I agree with everything you said.
Thank you.
Okay. The next movie is The Seed of Chucky. It came out in 2004. Chucky is a doll that comes to life and kills people. That's basically all you have to know.
I was too scared to watch this movie.
It was incredibly disturbing. Not the gay part of it. That wasn't the disturbing part of it. Although honestly, all of it was pretty fucking disturbing. Jennifer Tilly is in it, who's great. I don't want to go into the details of the actual. Jennifer Tilly gets impregnated with Chucky's children. I don't want to talk about how that went down, so I'm not. Look it up on YouTube.
If you're
I was
curious.
also so high when I was watching it. Just not a good mix. It was a lot. If you're interested, you can do your own research. The queer part of it though is so Chucky and his wife, her name's like someone like listening to this right now is like, her name is this, you freaking idiot. But like it's not coming to me right now. So like let's call her Julie.
Oh,
so,
hey. I just looked.
So Chucky's wife, Julie. Okay, you know what? As I'm talking, you look up what Chucky's wife's actual
Tiffany.
name is. Yes, there it is. Okay, Tiffany. So Tiffany and Chucky, they're living their lives, and they come across this other doll, and that doll is their child. And you know, Tiffany and Chucky like murdering people, but their child is like, wait, I did not know that that's what you guys were into. And like the mom asked the kid like what it wants to be called. They're naming the kid, and the mom is like, let's name it Glenda. And the dad is like, let's name it Glenn, because the gender is pretty ambiguous. And then the kid is like, I want to be both. And they're like, what? Like, that's weird. Like, you have to choose one. Like, we want you to be a boy or a girl. Basically, what ends up happening is Glenn/Glenda ends up going by Glenn/Glenda. And they are a non-binary person, doll. The fun part about Glenda is Glenn, the Glenn side of Glenda is good and benevolent. But then when it church identifies as Glenda, it turns into a murderous woman.
She's a Gemini.
Truly. So it's cool. They have like a gender fluid / non-binary possessed doll. I do think it's funny that the female side is like the violent, vindictive side.
Yeah, for sure. Love that representation. More women's wrongs.
It's honestly like worth looking up the clips where they like, because eventually the parents at the end are like, oh, like you can be Glenn and Glenda. Like that's cool. Like as I was watching, I was like, hi, and I was like, yay, gay. Like it's so great. Like also still like emotionally recovering from the trauma that the rest of the movie had put on me.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we like see gay representation. Kind of crazy that it was kind of like a it was very much a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of situation, except imagine that, but it was a non-binary person, and instead of being a person, it was a doll. But let's move on. I don't want to talk about
this was a horror film. Chucky was a horror film created for conservative parents because the true horror is having a child come out as non-binary. Ooh. Which obviously is what we don't believe. If you're non-binary, you're hot and cool. Call me. Anyway.
This is now just like a Tinder profile for Julie.
It's just like, I don't know if we should do this sometime. My Instagram DMs are now just a Tinder profile. If we do a segment where I read y'all some of the unhinged DMs I get from people who either want me to fix their lives and make them like a better man and teach them about gay rights, or they're just like so horny. Horny.
When I used to be on Tinder, I actually started a whole Instagram account called Chicken Tinders when it was just me posting screenshots of the absurd things people would send me. So I think that
Tinders.
We should definitely look into that. So moving on from Chucky, because I literally can't talk about it anymore. Julie's going to be talking about Jennifer's Body, which came out in 2009.
Y'all, Jennifer's Body was such a hot and grand time. And I was watching it while I was on a date with a woman. That was a grand time. Yeah, so Jennifer essentially gets this like weird ritual happening to her. You almost feel like it's like an allegory for sexual assault, but they think she's a virgin, and then they apply this, they do this like demon summoning thing, and she's supposed to like survive this because she's a quote unquote virgin. But Jennifer hasn't been a virgin since middle school. So essentially a demon enters her body, and then she just starts eating men. Y'all, she just starts eating men, and she has a best friend named Needy, who she is, we can kind of see like this very much love connection. They've got this whole will they, won't they, women loving women relationship.
We're getting some like Ross and Rachel vibes, except there's also like cannibalism in it. Is that what I'm
except there's also cannibalism. Okay. And one of the men that she eats is Needy's boyfriend, and that's really hot and cool of her. Chrissy Schlepeka, our TikTok bisexual queen, dressed up as Jennifer from Jennifer's Body for Halloween this year, and I couldn't think of a better woman to represent Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. I can't even recognize. I can't recommend this movie enough. Like, there's so much that we're kind of like, let's look into this, let's dive into this with these other movies. But for this one, I'm like, just sit back and enjoy it. It's freaky, it's campy, it's gay, it's great. It's a great time.
I've never seen it.
What?
I know, I've got to. I think that like when it first came out, I was like 9 or 8. I was 8 or 9, maybe 10. But that would not have gone down. And then as I got older, I was just like, damn. I just like I just like always kind of avoided movies with like really beautiful women in it, because I was like, I'm never gonna look like her. But joke's on you guys, because I look just like that actor. Who's the actress?
Megan Fox or Amanda Seyfried?
Fox, yeah, I look just like her now. So everyone's always like, oh my, like they'll see me on the street, they'll be like, oh my god, Megan Fox, and I'm like, oh no, but like I get that a lot. So
it's true.
No, totally kidding. I look a lot like Cousin It, but you can see my eyes.
I think she's somewhere. I think if Cousin It and Megan Fox had a child, and I specifically mean the cannibal Megan Fox in this movie had a child, then that's Ellie. Still very hot, Still,
Cousin It, Steven Tyler, like old Steven Tyler,
Mhm.
and cannibal Megan Fox. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could do worse. I could do better. And like a wench.
yeah,
But I do need to watch it.
highly recommend.
Okay, we're now moving on to this movie called Freaky. It's with Vince Vaughn. It came out in 2020. I loved this movie. It's like Freaky Friday, except the main girl, instead of switching bodies with her mom, she switches bodies with a serial killer.
Oh hell yeah!
It is so fun. It's great. So like most of the movie is like Vince Vaughn playing the role of like a 16-year-old girl, which is just hilarious. Like he's so good at it. And then the young girl is like this murderous person. And the thing is Vince Vaughn, the murderer, he targets like high schoolers. So now, he is in the thick of being around high schoolers because he's living in this teenage girl's body. So everyone is his target. He has like so much access to just murdering teenagers. And the murder is happening in all types of amazing creative ways. But the gayest part is so like their bodies are switched, and Vince Vaughn as the teenage girl is talking to this guy who the girl has a crush on, and they're getting like kind of romantic, and at this point the boy knows that this girl is trapped inside of Vince Vaughn's body, so like they're flirting, and Vince Vaughn is like stop, like, but it's funny because it's Vince Vaughn literally flirting with like a 17-year-old boy. I mean, the actor I think was like 20, but so that's just iconic. And then they kiss. I was like, Vince Vaughn,
Whoa.
good for you. Like they're sitting in the back of the car of this car, and this like teenage boy like puts his arm around Vince Vaughn, and Vince Vaughn is like, like, oh my god, like, and like so flirty, like so high school girl flirty because it's Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
And then they literally kiss, and then the guy is like, I really want to kiss you right now. So clearly the guy has to be like somewhat attracted to Vince Vaughn. So like this guy is at least bisexual. So it's just iconic. It's so fun. Like I never heard of it before this list, but I'm shocked that I haven't. I love Vince Vaughn. As far as I know, he hasn't done anything horrible. I'm sure he has. I can't. Don't take Vince Vaughn from me. Someone's going to be like, oh yeah, he like murders puppies and uses their body to frack.
Good God.
But as far as I know, he's in the clear. It was great. It was funny. I watched it in like a spooky cabin in upstate New York, and it was ideal scary movie. And it's a horror comedy, and I love a horror comedy. One of the reasons why I love Scream, or like Cabin in the Woods kind of thing. Like I love the self-aware horror tropes. And that did all this and more. Huge fan. Please go watch it. That's from this whole list. That was by far my favorite. So that's all the spooky films we have for you. Please like DM us, reach out to us if there like are any other like spooky horror, gay TV shows or movies that we're missing. We would love to plug them, check them out. But that's all we got for our little movie segment. I think
Our little movie
we're gonna
segment.
move on because Julie has some things to say.
Well, yeah.
What else is new?
This is so all of these movies, we have some iconic queer costumes and even some more that you can be for Halloween. Now, Miss Ellie here, journalist to the stars, NBC out. She writes for the gays. She knows how to play. She's wild in her ways. She's Ellie. I'm surprised I made it through that. Ellie. She wrote a really fabulous article on NBC Out about
Stop that, Julie.
about
Stop
queer
that.
icons that you can be for Halloween that can require little effort or a lot of effort, depending on how you take it. But either way, you'll come out looking fine and fire. And, it's hard to think of queer icons that you can be with minimal effort because most queer icons have a lot going on them. So Ellie was really challenged with this, was tasked with a high challenge, and she delivered. But you can go read that article. I am going to I'm going to jump off of that whole little thing and give you queer couples costumes that I've been seeing on TikTok, kind of talking about them, rating them, Honestly, I was going to bring them in to rate them, but every single one I was like, yes, 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 be that, do that, go for it. So I'm just going to tell you some, and maybe you'll get some inspo. Maybe Ellie will have things to say about them. So
What? I never have anything to say about anything. I don't know why you think that.
never a day in her life. Starting off with my first favorite that I have seen, and this goes to the last episode, which if you listened to our first book talk, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I saw one of my favorite TikTokers, AJ Clementine, be Evelyn Hugo, and her friend be Celia St. James with her. This is really cool. All you would need to do is wear a dark emerald dress and some pearls, look old Hollywood as Evelyn Hugo, and then get a redheaded friend or a friend with a redheaded wig to dress up as, to also be old Hollywood. It's like an easy old Hollywood moment, and you could be so hot, cool, and fun for it. And you'd be the smart one at the party because you're like, oh, it's a book I read.
Exactly. But it's one of those things where it's like, even if people don't know that book, it's like, oh, they're old Hollywood. Like, they're old Hollywood for Halloween. Like, it's not so weird. They're like, people are like, what even are you? Like, if they don't know the character, they're like, oh, they're just fabulous.
They're just fabulous. They just look really, really, really cool.
Love that.
So love that for them. And then Christy Schlepecka was, I believe, Jennifer's body by herself. But you could be Jennifer and Needy, the pair, and all you would really need for Jennifer is a juicy tracksuit, a lot of fake blood, and then for Needy, some glasses and just like some homely looking feelings. So if one of you is like if one of you in the queer relationship is the super extra one and one of you just like wants to hang out at your house, this is a really good couple's costume for you.
Okay, wait, quick question, Julie.
Yes.
So I haven't seen this movie. With this duo,
yes.
Who is who in our duo?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like personality wise, you're probably more closer to Jennifer, but I've got the dark hair. And
I do eat men. So.
Yeah, yes. But I also have this whole, I would say Bird Girl, this person that I am on TikTok, is the closest of either of us to her. I think looks wise, unless we really felt like going all out with wigs, it would make more sense for me to be Megan and you to be Needy, because Needy has these like big glasses that she wears, and that's what I think of when I think of Ellie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
but at the same time,
maybe we can work something out. Julie will be in town for Halloween. We will be together, so maybe there will be some costume changes happening.
There could be. Well, what if we started the night as one of the orientations, and then throughout the rest of the night, you're suddenly Jennifer and I'm Needy, and we switch.
Love it.
I think that's fun and hot.
Huge fan.
Yeah. So those were like my two top favorites that I saw, just because I was like, those are references I get, and I love to feel smart. Is she a Virgo or what? But now I'm going to just kind of more quickly take you through some other ones. Now, I looked up men loving men costumes. I looked up women loving women costumes, and here's what I discovered. There's no gatekeeping gender here. I think two men could make a really hot version of a lot of these women-loving women couples, and I think two women could make a really hot version of these men-loving men couples. I think if you are in the queer world, queerness is sort of just it's an open, take it as you want it. Go for it. Get it, eat it, love it. So I'm starting out with characters that are actually gay, because there is like the modifying of characters who are presented to us as straight, but then being like, weren't they also gay? But here are characters that are actually gay on screen. Rue and Jules from Euphoria get some glitter makeup. One of you dresses a little fancy princessy. Another one dresses just in like a green army jacket. Looks like they're on drugs. It's fun. Brittany and Santana from Glee, two red cheerleader outfits. Also one of my gay awakenings. We have Marceline and Bubblegum from Adventure Time. Every single lesbian couple I know compares themselves to Marceline and Bubblegum, and I think you should hop on that bandwagon. Also, I saw Prince, Gumball, and Marsha Lee. There's men do the versions of this costume, because in the show, I believe there's a Prince version of them, which is so cool and fun. And then Heartstopper, Nick and Charlie, the two main men. I think there could be a really cute women-loving women couple as Nick and Charlie from Heartstopper. If you want a really low-effort costume, David and Patrick from Schitt's Creek. One of you just needs to wear a giant black sweater and some rings, and the other one just needs to look like a guy. Like maybe have a guitar. And And then included in the list of people who are actually gay for each other, I'm going to include Bert and Ernie, Frog and Toad, and also a common one, the Sun and the Moon. The Sun and the Moon are gay for each other. You can't tell me otherwise.
Aww.
Oh, and Piper and Alex from Orange is the New Black get 2 little prison jumpsuits or just khaki scrubs. I was once Alex from Orange is the New Black for Halloween. While I was in high school, it was kind of awesome to walk around in a prison suit. The teachers kept laughing at me, and I was like, yeah, I am in prison. But also, I showed up to school dressed as like pop culture's biggest lesbian at the time, and nobody was like, maybe she's bisexual. Or, you know, maybe she's a little fruity. And I'm like telegraphing it to the world. So then, characters who are straight, but people are co-modifying them. And you know what? Take straight moments and make them gay. We've been making gay moments straight throughout all of history. This is what I talked about with them while you were in the bathroom, Ellie.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we have Velma and Daphne, which also very topical now. I mean, I feel like Scooby-Doo has been so overdone by so many friend groups, but with the new Scooby-Doo coming out and Velma being openly a lesbian, which is like really, really cool and fun, being Velma and Daphne could be really cute. Additionally, on the flip side of that, being Shaggy and Fred, which honestly I don't really like because there's a lot of like characters that I'm like, yes, those two are absolutely gay for each other. I don't really see that with Shaggy and Fred.
No,
they don't seem like it. You know, I think that's a stretch. So then we have one of my favorite videos I saw was a masked lesbian and a femme lesbian as Timmy and Trixie from the Fairly Odd Parents. I was obsessed with this. I died for this. It was so cute. And it's so simple. Have one of you just be a fruity little extra dress wearing person. Other one wears a pink hat. And then I'll just run you really quick through the rest of them. Tink and Wendy. So cute. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Someone recently said I'm the daughter of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And
whoa.
Yes,
you are. That is true.
I haven't even seen a lot of superhero movies, but my ego will never come down from that statement. And
no, it's amazing.
And then Billy and Stu from Scream, like I was talking about, might be straight, might be gay, just get some jackets and be murderous. Batman, there was 2 Batman ones. You could be Batman and Robin, which is like the more clearly gay, the more like openly queer choice. Or you could be Batman and Joker, and that could lead to some really kinky times later in the night where you're like sworn enemies.
I like that. No, those are all very good duos.
Yeah, we've got and then I have 3 more here: Wicked Witch and Glinda. Which I mean, their whole thing.
Cute.
They wrote a whole musical about how much those two love each other. And then Derek and Hansel from Zoolander. I haven't seen Zoolander, but it's coming up on every single queer list, so I figured I had to say it.
You gotta watch it. It's so good.
And then finally, and this, I can't decide if this is my favorite one or my least favorite one, and that's how you know it's a good one. It was 2 women-loving women people. One was dressed as a bee, and the other one was dressed as the lady from the Bee Movie. Yeah, it was pretty hot. And they redid a lot of the scenes where he's just like on the floor as a bee and she's like, hey, and he's like, you like jazz. It was phenomenal. Also, the costumes that they did were just really good. Get a yellow shirt, a little bob-haired wig. One of you gets a bee costume. You could be a sexy bee. You could be a not sexy bee. I loved, but that's a queer couple. I know that that's technically a straight couple, but I'm sorry, a person dating a bee is about
that's
as
gay.
Queer as it gets.
I love all of those. I have no notes. And we're gonna have some fun dressing up as some things when you're in town.
Yes.
To wrap us up, I am gonna be giving you all the definitive ranking of gayest Halloween candy, and I'm going to keep this pretty short because there's not a whole lot to be said about it. I had a lot of fun researching this. I am a consumer of candy, so it was fun to picture them gay. So coming in at number 5, we have candy bracelets / necklaces, okay? This one is for the speed walking gays, okay? Who don't have enough time to accessorize, eat, and get to where they're going, okay?
True.
So they have to do it all at once. They're fabulous, colorful addition to any outfit. See also candy underwear. So pretty gay. Number 4, we have Hershey's Kisses. Okay. They wear metallic, so they're attention seeking and they like to stand out in a crowd, and they all wear cute little matching neck scarves. Gay. Number 3, we have candy corn, okay? They're controversial. They're attention seeking. They hang out in large groups, i.e. you'll never see a lone candy corn because they travel in packs. And they're color coordinated, okay? Gay. At number 2, we have Sour Patch Kids, okay? They can come off a little bitchy and judgmental at first, and they might not mix well with other types of candies, but that's just because the world criticizes them, okay? But then once you get to know them a little bit better, they're sweet, they're delicious, and you can't stop eating them. Gay.
Yes.
And at number 1, do you have any guesses at what number 1 is, Julie?
Oh, number 1, is it rainbow stripe extreme airhead type thingy, that rainbow's belt gum?
You are on the right track. It is Skittles.
Oh.
Because taste the rainbow. They're colorful and they are quite literally fruity. Number 1 gayest candy. If any of you don't agree with my list, I don't care and I don't want to hear about it. But if there are any other gay candies that you think deserve honorable mention, please let us know. That list actually took me a pretty long time. For a while, I had Reese's Peanut Butter Cups on there as our butch lesbian.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I want to know what candy is homophobic. I know.
Probably.
I feel like Peeps are homophobic, and that's an Easter candy. That's not a Halloween candy.
I feel like you know who's homophobic is getting like a toothbrush at Halloween.
Yeah.
That's homophobic.
That is just toothbrush, Peeps. I'm just trying to think of a candy that radiates. I think like mints. Mints are a little like bad mints.
Oh, you know what? You know what's homophobic?
But junior mints are bisexual. Continue.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what's the candy that's homophobic are those strawberry candies that are wrapped in the strawberry wrapping and they look like strawberries. And they're deceiving because from the outside, you're like, oh, you're dressed like a strawberry. That's pretty gay. But they're in every white grandma's home and at the bottom of every white grandma's purse. So chances are they're a little bit homophobic. However, they are delicious and one of my favorite candies.
Well, there you go. Sometimes you just gotta get with a straight person.
Sometimes you just,
No.
And maybe Pixie Sticks. They just kind of seem like assholes.
I don't know. I feel like Pixie Sticks are like Coke queers. They're like rainbow dust that sometimes in middle school people would snort. Like that just
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for you this week.
That
folks and ghouls.
Do you need us to talk in our spooky accents?
I think so.
As we send you on to your Halloween night, because hopefully you've listened to this on the day it releases and not the disappointing November 2nd when things have already been over. But you know what? When you're gay, it's always spooky season. Ooh. This has been Spooky Liz. I'm Julie Jester, and remember, spookiness is a state of mind.
I'm Ellie Rudy, and I'm Ellie Rudy, and keep an eye out for your children's candy, because there may be a gay inside.
The spookiest thing of all, a gay.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your Halloween. Woof. Woof.
And now we just start, we're just like, boo.
Have you ever actually been around real chickens? They're nuts.
One time I showered in front of a rooster.
Oh my god.
That is a story for another time. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
This episode of Liz was edited and produced by me, Ellie Rudy, and co-hosted by the lovely Julie Jester, who is also our head of community outreach. If you'd like to support Liz, please hop on our Patreon and join at any level. Or, at the very least, you can give us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps. Tell your dogs, doctors, and door people about us. Thank you.